Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever you guys are listening or watching. Welcome to the Binkz and Doodle Effect, presented to you by Lividity and Lividity Gaming. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, and as always, I am here with my co-host, Mr. DrewskiDoodles.
Hello?
How are you doing this fine afternoon, Mr. DrewskiDoodle?
Lack of sunlight, but beyond that, we're doing okay.
It is raining right now outside, depending on where you live. We have a little bit of a delayed episode this week. Not for any reason. We just wanted to wait for the World Series to end. We wanted to be able to announce a World Series winner and talk about the World Series as a whole. So we delayed the message. Well, not delayed the message. Delayed the video. Delayed the episode until today. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's about time they didn't choke in the World Series or the postseason. So good for them.
That's it. Payroll gets them somewhere.
It's about time they definitely earned it and deserved it at this point. I mean, they've been there, like 3 out of the 4 past years to the World Series and have just lost. So it was finally their time. Congratulations to them. However, I think the biggest topic beside them winning is pretty much how the Rays choked that last game, but we'll touch on that real quick. Seager, MVP for the World Series, had a phenomenal postseason. So I know there's arguments that people thought maybe Mookie Betts should have got it, but I mean Seager had a phenomenal postseason. I don't know how you feel about that, but
No, he was batting .328 for the whole postseason, I think, and 400 in the World Series. GG's. You can't not pick that.
Nah, he did phenomenal, and congratulations to him. I'm sure that's an awesome moment, awesome feeling to have be named MVP. So, but going to controversy, pulling Snell in the 6th inning with 1 out.
Bro, Kevin Cash needs to get, someone needs to whip him for 2 hits. He gave up 2 hits, and you pull him. That's a game changer. That's something that Dave Roberts normally does. If he stays in, I think the Rays win that game. I mean, they had to score, but you put him in the best position by leaving Snell in.
You are an elimination game, and every move is just that, more consequential. Your ace is throwing a 2-hitter, 1-hitter before he got pulled. He gave up a little. It was like a bloop. It wasn't even like a hard hit.
Literally. Yeah.
It wasn't even like a hard hit ball where the batter made solid contact to get on. I mean, it was one of those bloop hits, and without question, he just came out and pulled him. I mean, Snell was pissed. I would have been pissed if I was in that situation. Snell was in complete control of that game. He kept the Dodgers bat at nothing, and for you to just immediately pull him. I mean, it's not even like his pitch count was even that high up. But I mean, if you're in the World Series elimination game, I don't want to hear any sort of argument about pitch count at that point.
No,
because this is this is Snell's last game pitching for the year. Let him throw as many as he can. He has a full off season to recover, if anything.
Yeah, talk about poor game management.
Mm-hmm.
Just I can't put into words the stupidity of pulling Blake Snell in that situation.
Yeah, and you have all the analytics then, going into it, which I personally do not really care about anything analytically. Like, I'm not one who's going to look at numbers and be like, oh, this is definitely the best course of action. I've never been like that with any sport. But if you want to have an analytic approach, Mookie Betts was the next batter coming up in that lineup. And statistically all year and in the postseason, Mookie Betts has feasted off right-handers who throw fastballs.
And look who came in.
Mookie Betts in the past for all year, including last year, has struggled so hard hitting against a lefty. And what is Snell, Mr. DrewskiDoodle?
He likes to throw with his left hand.
And he does like to throw with his left hand. And who did they bring in?
A right-hander.
Who throws a lot of what?
Fastballs.
And what did Mookie Betts do?
Clobber it.
It's just, listen, it makes no sense analytically or logically that on why Snell was removed, and that's pretty much why the Rays lost that game. You know what? They deserve to lose that game for that.
If 2 + 2 = 4, then they're stupid because that math adds up. But on the other hand, it is nice to see Clayton Kershaw get a ring.
Yeah. He needs to wash his ass out.
It sucks to see him not get one. He does, but I understand. Being a superstitious hockey fan, I get it. You don't change it. You're winning. Keep it going. I get it. But now he needs to burn it. Oh, God.
As soon as I saw that when we were watching the World Series, man, I texted you, and I was like, yo, like, I'm convinced Kershaw, like, just doesn't shower. He just looks like a dirty guy in general at that point. And, like, just seeing his hat with all the sweat stains and the discoloration, I'm just like, that is disgusting. Like, please, just, like, if your organization can afford to pay you all the millions for the whole team, I think they can give you a new hat.
Yeah.
Like,
now that it's over, he can go. He can go change it.
Please change your hat, man, for next season. We're gonna see opening day now next year with him with the same hat on. Oh, we won the World Series with this one. We gotta keep this on.
I will actually throw up.
Going forward, I think the biggest, though, other than pulling Snell, is Turner. I'm gonna let you go.
It just feeds more into how much of a joke Rob Manfred is that it got to this point where they didn't know about a positive COVID test until like the 5th inning.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back on the field for the celebration.
No,
what?
I completely agree.
Just what?
But so here's my look on it, because I completely agree with you. One, how are you letting him play without confirmation if he's positive or negative at that point, right? And I don't mean to be desensitive about, COVID or any of this when I say this, but if you find out in the 8th inning that he's now positive, realistically, what is the actual point in pulling him and then announcing that he had COVID? Because, like I said, I don't want to be insensitive and I don't want to, sound terrible, but at that point in the 8th inning, if he is positive, he is already infected everyone in the Dodgers dugout. He's already touched ground balls and have thrown it to other players. Everyone on that Dodgers team is pretty much already infected with him playing 8 innings of baseball. Now he's also been in the batter's box. He's been around the catcher. He's, rounding first. He's been around other Rays at that point. Now you can say pulling him could prevent him from exposing other people, but if he's already exposed the entire dugout, the entire Dodgers team now is potentially exposed, and that entire Dodgers team has been around numerous Rays. So at that point, why even pull him out of the game to announce that he has COVID? I mean,
yeah, I think it was
you know what I mean?
To save face, because if that got out that they never pulled him, that'd be worse. At least like PR wise.
Like I said, I get that, but
I think that's part of it.
It's just ridiculous. But the fact that he came out to celebrate after he was pulled,
I don't know what the hell went on
completely takes away from everything they were even trying to do. So if they were trying to save face with PR wise by pulling him out, then he should have never celebrated with his team.
100%, yeah. And especially going out to take a picture where they're all grouped together, and it's stupid. It's all stupid.
Exactly.
And the way baseballs handle it, they handle it really bad. It's a reflection on Rob Manfred. I was so happy to hear him getting booed like crazy by the small amount of people that he let in. To have them boo the crap out of him made me so happy. And let's just hope next season is better, because this was I personally think this was a disaster.
It was just nice to have baseball back.
It was just nice to actually have some games being played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hopefully next year our New York Mets will turn it around with Mr. Cohen. But,
not if the mayor has anything to say about it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how De Blasio does, but you say
I
that
think
they're
that vote is. I think the next vote is tomorrow for that, which is a big deal.
fingers crossed
We'll
that
see.
Cohen gets take over the
Oh,
Mets
please.
because he's
Did you
gonna.
see actually, real quick, that the Mets declined their club option on both of their major league catchers
No, I didn't.
yesterday?
I
They
did.
declined. They declined picking up their club option on both Ramos and Robinson Chirinos.
Wow.
So they're definitely going after probably both Real Muto and James McCann. We're gonna end up getting James McCann. Real Muto doesn't want to come to New York, which I'm fine with. It's gonna be less money, and then they have more money to spend on Trevor Bauer
Ah, yeah. Bring over Bauer.
slash other people.
Bring over Bauer. Can you imagine that? A healthy pitching rotation: Degrom, Bauer, Syndergaard.
Noah would be our number 3.
Yeah.
Like
And then you have
yikes.
Stroman at 4, and then I guess you could,
But Stroman's not coming back.
you don't think Stroman's gonna come back?
No, I don't think so at all.
I
I
did like
think
Stroman.
they're gonna make David Peterson 4, and then sign like a older veteran to be number 5,
I liked
or
Peterson.
Seth Lugo.
I like Peterson. I think Matt should come out of the rotation.
Yeah, I think so too.
He maybe be like a long relief, starter got lit up in the first and second inning type of guy, come in to do, damage
Because I mean,
control.
it plays into his. If you're looking at advanced sabermetrics, he would do well until he hit the third time around the order. So that makes for a perfect reliever.
Exactly. And you know what? That's just the role that he's, turning into, and you really can't be mad at that.
Which
if you're
is
Steven
as
Matz.
long, yeah. I mean, as long as he plays into it and fills that role, then you're gonna be happy with it too.
Exactly.
If he can perform, if they can throw, they've been grooming Seth Lugo for possibly in the rotation, so if they can flip flop them too, it's interesting.
I mean, after how Lugo has pitched, there's no reason why Lugo shouldn't be in the starting rotation.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. I mean, we got free agency on Monday,
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah. Well,
the first Sunday. Yeah, so it should be fun.
fingers crossed for Bauer.
Hell yeah, but he's not making it easy on Twitter.
No.
Tagging everybody.
Going over to the NFL. First and foremost, can we just talk about Mr. Gurley?
That was so funny.
All he had to do,
Man.
was not score, and he scored. The Falcons just find a new way every single week to lose a game.
It's really bad. Man was coming in too hot to stop.
I don't think they're a bad team. I just think I think they are one of the best first 3-quarter team in the NFL. And in the fourth quarter, they look like the Jets. They just can't do a thing.
My favorite football meme I've ever seen now online was them talking about their new jerseys with the color gradient, and they're like, it has a lot of heritage built in. The red part is their fourth quarter lead, and then see how it fades into nothingness. I'm like, wow, that makes sense.
Realistically, though, on the real, those jerseys were clean. The red gradient, black gradient, that was
absolutely fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely fantastic.
I was a big fan of those jerseys. I hope they use them more going forward.
Yeah, I hope so too. So like I texted you, there's one minor league hockey team that had jerseys like that, and I love them. Like that's such a dope idea, and I really hope they continue with it.
Yeah, no, it looked awesome. So
who would have dope jerseys like that? Seattle. They had like a neon green fading into like a dark blue.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Or vice versa. Yeah,
more
teams
awesome. Should do that. Have the gradient, effects. That would look so clean on so many other teams. You're right. Yeah. Seattle though, that would look really really nice.
Hell yeah.
Seattle though, your pick. Just touching on that real quick, losing to the Cardinals. Listen, the Cardinals came to play. We have 3 teams with 5 wins in that division.
Yeah, it's wild. It's the complete opposite of the NFC East.
That's definitely probably the most competitive division in football. It's
the hardest,
100%. Toughest, I mean, even the last place, the 49ers are 4-3. They're 1 game out in last place. Like, it's just amazing. That is a good division.
I mean, I think you're gonna see 3 teams from that division in the playoffs. I could easily see both wild card spots going to that division.
You definitely potentially can, do that right now. I mean, the way that division's been playing, you could definitely see 3 teams from them going in.
Hell yeah! And it's just interesting. It all depends on Seattle's defense now, what they're going to do with it. Because I've heard trade talks. I know, shockingly, the Patriots were talking about trading Stephon Gilmore. I know the Seahawks would be very interested in that. They have to get Jamal Adams back.
Mm-hmm.
This didn't change anything. They're still my pick just because they're scoring so much, and if they get better defense, then they're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
But definitely shows that the Cardinals are no joke. I do see. I think the Rams are a bit of a pretender in that division, but you can't argue though with a 5-2 record. So we'll see.
Down the line, though, I truly don't think the Rams will be a playoff team.
No, I don't think that.
I don't think so. I mean, you could potentially have the Cardinals in there, but I also don't see maybe. I mean, if the divisions, if they keep doing the way they are right now, we're gonna see those 3 teams in the playoffs.
Arguably, yeah.
Arguably, but like
I definitely see the Cardinals taking a wild card spot, and then you have
potentially
we have the Rams, the Niners, the Bears, and the Saints / Bucks fighting for that wild card spot.
I'm gonna stop you right there and say that the Bears are
they got
not a playoff team.
No.
And I have never thought they
not.
were a playoff team. I don't care what their record showed. That is a very, very weak record.
Definitely not going to be there at the end of the year. No doubt in my mind.
Absolutely not. The NFC has so many good teams.
None of them are in the NFC East.
No, none of them are in the NFC East. And with all those good teams, it's going to be amazing when an AFC team still wins the Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Hot take. But I want to admit that I was wrong from a prior podcast. I would like to take this opportunity, since we're talking about good NFC teams. I would like to say that I was, I wouldn't go and say that I was completely wrong, but I most definitely underestimated the defense of the Buccaneers. I kind of
they are disgusting.
I kind of assumed the offense was going to be like it is now, but when I was looking at their schedule, was thinking they were going to lose games because their defense wasn't going to be able to keep them in, and that it was going to be pretty much a shootout every game. So I will admit that I underestimated Tampa's defense.
Yeah,
phenomenally.
Defense is crazy. Yeah,
I kind of assumed the offense was going to be like
that.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no doubt the offense was pretty much going to do what it's been doing. I mean, you have Mike Evans and Godwin, and now you have Antonio Brown on that
team's
Buccaneers.
Gonna be disgusting.
So, I mean, you still have Tom Brady now as quarterback, who you could argue greatest of all time or not greatest of all time. You call a spade, he's still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. So
with the amount of firepower on that team is insane.
Exactly. And so I kind of predicted that the offense would be like this, but my God, I will be the first to admit when I'm wrong. I completely underestimated Tampa's defense, and I know I'm going to lose a few bets now that they actually probably will make it. They probably will make the playoffs, and I will be losing those bets because I really didn't think. I thought they were going to be like a 9-7 team, 10-6 at best. But
yeah,
I can truthfully, when I looked at the rest of their schedule, I think they could finish like 12-4. So.
Yeah, I definitely think they're taking that division. Especially the Saints aren't really living up to what. I mean, they have a lot of injuries, but they're not really living up to as ridiculous as they should be.
No, yeah. So we'll definitely see how that pans out.
Yeah.
So with quarterbacks in mind, Cam Newton getting benched, the Patriots, they're hurting a little bit. They're not looking so great.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, I think Cam Newton's going to be fine. This might have been like a wake-up call, but he also he has no one to throw the ball to.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots have one of the weakest receiving cores in football. Not even that they're bad; they're just young. Like N'Keal Harry, he's big. This is his second year. He has his fair share of injuries. Then you have Damiere Byrd, who is brand spanking new, and because of that, teams are just suffocating Julian Edelman, who is also not playing at 100%.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of problems they have to fight through. This is not... being a loyal Patriots fan, they have no chance of making the playoffs this year. Not whatsoever.
Yeah.
I cannot see them... They're going to finish third in the division. They're not going to overtake the Dolphins. Every week that passes, I'm growing bigger and bigger on the Dolphins. I think they're sick. And then they're going to have to compete with either Baltimore or Pittsburgh, Indy, the Raiders for a wild card spot, it's just not going to happen.
Well, Pittsburgh's going to win the division. Pittsburgh is still the only
Yeah.
undefeated team in the league.
Yeah,
They're playing phenomenal football, and I think
they are.
I think it's going to be Chiefs Steelers for the AFC Championship.
Yeah, very well could be because the Bills are not hot anymore.
I don't think the Bills are going to be a one and done team in the playoffs, so they're going to be out in the wild card. But
yeah, I could definitely see that.
Going back to the Patriots real quick, I don't think the Patriots record is appropriate to be put on Belichick. It's really not. I can't really see this as being Belichick's fault. It's not Belichick's fault.
No, I don't think so either. Like I said, they have no weapons.
Yeah,
they don't have anybody.
I mean, hot take.
James White's not really playing.
No.
Sony Michel's out.
They're hurting. They're definitely hurting. But I agree with you. I don't think Cam Newton's going to be an issue. I think Cam Newton's going to fit.
No.
I think he's going to fit the scheme well if they can kind of just build around him with some sort of decent receiving core. But I don't think you can place any blame on Belichick for this season. I mean, hot take. I think the Jets receivers are better than the Patriots.
They definitely have a better number one, at least because Crowder, the Patriots' best receiver is a slot receiver, which is going to get you in. It's going to get you a couple yards, but it's not going to get you the big plays that you need.
No. The Jets has a wider, and the Jets are the worst team in football. And that's, you can't even argue that. And if you say otherwise, then, I don't think you have any football knowledge in the world.
Yeah, but then they have Jamison Crowder is one of the best receivers in football. He's
good.
Super reliable.
He's super reliable. But being the worst team, you're more than likely going to get the number one pick, which brings us to how do you feel about Trevor Lawrence avoiding the draft and playing in Clemson for another year and not coming into the draft? I'm going to let you go first because I have a lot to say about this.
I don't know. So, I'm trying to put myself there. It's one thing if you go back to college, you're risking a career-ending injury before getting into the NFL. But it does. Going to the Jets also seems like a death sentence. So I don't know what the regulations are here, but maybe Trevor Lawrence, before he declares if he's in the draft or not, can talk to Jets management, see if they have any moves in mind to get him some help or firings in mind. But if I were him, I wouldn't stay in college. I would go into the draft. I would rather just get my name into the NFL than risk getting hurt in college for an unnecessary year just to avoid getting onto a team I don't want to be on. And if you think about it too, he might be the only reason the Jets don't get the first pick next year. They could very easily get the first pick again.
Exactly.
So I personally would tell him to enter the draft.
I completely agree. So the way I see it is, like you said, if he goes back to Clemson, you risk getting injured, even if it's not a career-ending injury. Say it's like a Tua injury.
Yeah.
I mean, you're now losing the number one pick for next draft. Okay. Now look at it this way in terms of actual value and money. Okay. More than likely, Clemson is going to win another national championship. If he plays college again and then doesn't win the national championship next year, his value goes down immediately. Okay? So with that being said, you even if you don't get hurt and you play through another college season, but you don't win the national championship, you're no longer valued as much as you are. You go into this draft probably winning your second national championship. All right? You're going to go number one, right? And I understand college endorsements and all that stuff. College players, can make, he's probably going to make a good amount of money, but it's still not going to compare to a number one overall pick, salary. So not only you have to look at number one overall pick salary, but you also have to look at where he's going. Okay, New York, as bad as New York is one of the most prestigious teams that you can go to ever in any sports: basketball, hockey, baseball, football. You are a New York athlete. You are on the top of the stage. So now not only are you going to be getting paid a number one overall draft pick contract, you are also going to be getting New York endorsements, and you are going to be literally the figure of New York sports when you come in. Being a Jet. As bad as the Jets are, you are still now the spotlight in New York. You are it. Okay? You do not pass up guaranteed like 30, 35 plus million just because you don't want to play for that team. It's just absurd to me. Now, I get it. As me as a person, like I said in other podcasts, I would rather take a pay cut and win more Super Bowls. Granted. But at the same time, I'm also not going to pass up, coming out of college, absolute life-changing money. Right? I get that contract. I may bite my tongue for, my rookie contract, and after my rookie contract is up, I don't sign back with the Jets, or I demand a trade and I go somewhere else where I have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl. And you can't even look at the Jets organization as it is right now, because more than likely, at the end of the season, the entire coaching staff of the Jets is going to be gone.
Bye-bye, yeah.
It is going to be a brand new coaching staff, a brand new scheme. You can't just say, just because the Jets are actually the worst team in football right now, that they're going to continue to be the worst football team going next season. And that shouldn't be a reason for you to not be into the draft. You don't risk that. I would rather have my career-ending injury, if I was going to have a career-ending injury, in the NFL with a huge contract than in college and then never make it to the NFL. You don't pass that up. So all these people saying that he should stay in Clemson for another year just because the Jets are that bad, I think that you shouldn't be on TV anymore. Personally, I'm sorry, because that is the most idiotic and obscene thing that I've ever heard. I don't care that he's going to get endorsements in college. It's not. I mean, it's going to be life-changing money regardless. I mean, $3-4 million. I mean, I'll sign me up for that right now. I can live off $3-4 million for the rest of my life more than easily. But like, if you have an option of getting $3-4 million or like 40 plus, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there's no reason why Trevor Lawrence shouldn't come out as into the draft as a Jet, and it's not just because I'm a Jet fan. It's just the right.
No, it makes sense.
It's a logical thing to do. So that's my take on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm hoping we get lucky enough where this podcast reaches his ears and he just listens to everything I just said. You go to New York, and there's no guarantee that the Jets will be the number one pick. It's more than likely, but I mean,
you're right. Yeah, you also touched on a nice point. You don't have to win to be revered in New York. Look at David Wright. He was on a Mets team that was awful for forever, but he was loyal and he played well. So Trevor Lawrence could end up being the same way. Something fun that just popped up on my phone from Bleacher Report. Julian Edelman is getting surgery on his knee. Is not expected to miss the rest of the season, but will miss time.
I'm glad that we decided to record this episode during this time. Boom, big hot take. Julian Edelman out.
I'm gonna bash my head against the corner of my desk for an hour.
So now, as a Patriot fan for you, Andrew, you have Harry and who else?
Damier Bird, oh boy. I think I might go drive 4 hours to Gillette Stadium and just be like, hey, I can run and maybe catch a ball or two.
You think we can walk on to be on the Patriots wide receiver corps?
At this point, I mean, sign me up. God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't even. I have no words. But you know what? I had 15 years of greatness. I can relax.
You had your time. I mean, you can.
Although we are playing Buffalo this week, and Buffalo's on the downswing, so we'll see.
Listen, you guys win that game, you guys shake up the entire AFC East. That whole division gets completely shaken up, because now if the Bills lose and the Dolphins win,
it's right there, man.
The Patriots are right back there for the division.
You would have 5-3, 4-3, and 3-4.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets are going to be 0-7. I mean, there's actually no possible chance in any scenario, any atmosphere, that the Jets beat Kansas City this week. And if the Jets beat Kansas City this week, let's say for some reason they do, biggest upset ever in sports history, ever in life. Biggest upset. As bad as these Jets are, and as good as the Kansas City Chiefs are, biggest upset ever.
If the Chiefs lose to the Jets, Patrick Mahomes needs to get bought out of his contract on the spot. And Andy Reid needs to get fired.
There's no way the Jets beat
No.
beat Kansas City. And I love how Gase is like, our focus is on beating the Chiefs, not Le'Veon Bell. Dude, Le'Veon Bell, if you have him in fantasy, you start him. That is a revenge game. Bell is going to show Gase and the Jets on what he is capable of doing, and Bell is going to run all over them.
Yep.
If you have Le'Veon Bell on your fantasy team, if he is not starting, never play fantasy ever again.
Yeah, because one of two things is going to happen. One, they're going to just start Bell and let him go all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, they keep him as a number 2, don't use him that much, but then they just build up so much of a lead, they just give him the ball every snap.
Yeah.
So either way, it's working out for you.
It's you're versing the Jets, and
you always go against the Jets.
Always bet against the Jets right now for this season at least.
Yes.
But let's wrap this up real quick and touch on the Thursday night game. Mr. DrewskiDoodle, you did indeed lose last week. You are now 3-4 on the year. I am now 4-3. It's Falcons Panthers. What are you feeling? The spread is -2.5 for Carolina right now, and we have a possibility. I don't know if any news came out yet, but there's a possibility McCaffrey can see a few reps in this game.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I wouldn't turn it too much in the Panthers' favor if he does, only because Mike Davis has been killing it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, be better, but part of me really wants to take Atlanta, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go with Carolina.
I'm glad you did, because I am taking Atlanta.
Okay, I like it.
I'm glad you went with Carolina, because I think Atlanta beats the Panthers tonight.
They very well could. I don't know. I hit that defense, man, in the fourth quarter. I can't do it. I picked them in another thing a while ago, and they burned me, so I can't do it. And also, I like the Panthers as much. I mean, the Falcons' receiving core is top tier, but I also love the Panthers' receiving core too.
Yeah, no,
DJ Moore, especially DJ Moore.
I think the Falcons are going to be coming back. They're tired of losing, and after last week, it's going to be they have some salt in the mouth.
They are definitely tired of losing. I can definitely agree with you there.
Not even losing, but losing in the way they have been losing.
Yeah, it's just exhausting.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons this week, and either we're gonna be both 4-4 for the year, or I'm gonna have a nice 2-week lead on you. So
both are possible.
Both are very possible. So with that being said, I think we're going to wrap up this week's episode. Do you have any parting words for us, Andrew?
I hope the Falcons continue to blow a lead. just this 1 week.
Just this 1 week. All right. Well,
just this 1 week.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
I hope my box hit.
Yeah, I hope my box is hit. I have terrible numbers this week, so I doubt it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button. Drop a comment down below. Touch on any of the topics that we had talked upon. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Binkz and Doodle Facts comes out every Wednesday at 3 p.m. It's coming out this week on Thursday, just due to the World Series. Recapping all of that. If you're listening anywhere you listen to podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. We'll look at it. We'll read it. We'll shout you out on the following episode. Thank you, Apple. We are now on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you, big brother.
Thank you. It only took 8 weeks to be approved, but
well, that's it.
It's okay. It's okay. All that matters is we are now on Apple Podcasts. Not to mention Spotify instantly approved us, but who's doing competitive?
Who's counting?
Who's counting? But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, until next time, peace out.